Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're reading from Bhagavad-gita as it is, chapter 8, text 21. Avyaktoksara ityuktas tamahu paramam gatim yam prapya nanivartante tadhama paramam mama. Translation. That which the Vedantists describe as unmanifest and unfallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns, that is my supreme abode. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki. The supreme abode of the personality of Godhead Krishna is described in the Brahma Samhita as Chintamani Dhama, a place where all desires are fulfilled. The supreme abode of Lord Krishna, known as Goloka Vrindavana, is full of palaces made of touchstone. There are also trees called desire trees that supply any type of eatable upon demand. And there are cows known as Surabhi cows, which supply a limitless supply of milk. In this abode, the Lord is served by hundreds of thousands of goddesses of fortunes, Lakshmis, and he is called Govinda, the primal Lord and the cause of all causes. The Lord is accustomed to blow his flute, Venum Kvanantam. His transcendental form is the most attractive in all the worlds. His eyes are like lotus petals, and the color of his body is like the color of clouds. He is so attractive that his beauty excels that of thousands of cupids. He wears saffron clothes, a garland around his neck, and a peacock feather in his hair. In the Bhagavad-gita, Lord Krishna gives only a small hint of his personal abode, Goloka Vrindavana, which is the supermost planet in the spiritual kingdom. A vivid description is given in the Brahma Samhita. Vedic literatures, Katha Upanishad 1.3.11, state that there is nothing superior to the abode of the Supreme Godhead, and that that abode is the ultimate destination. Purushan na param kinchit sakashta paramagati. When one attains to it, he never returns to the material world. Krishna's supreme abode and Krishna himself are non-different, being of the same quality. On this earth, Vrindavan, 90 miles southeast of Delhi, is a replica of that supreme Goloka Vrindavan located in the spiritual sky. When Krishna descends on this earth, he is sported on that particular tract of land known as Vrindavana, comprising about 84 square miles in the district of Mathura, India. Translation again. That which the Vedantists describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns, that is my supreme abode. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyahivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtabhutade Shrimati Radhana Swami Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtabhutade Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatati Shatarine. Hare Krishna. Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mayi ki jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Nitai Gaur Pramanandi. I'm very much honored to be with all of you again this evening. So we can see here in this verse, it's described the spiritual abode of Lord Krishna. And it is avyakta. Avyakta means it's beyond material realm. Avyakta means it's not manifest. And that means that it's not perceivable by material senses or intelligence. Nothing. We have no instrument to penetrate this avyakta. Because we have senses, we have intelligence, we have our mind, but these are all material elements and cannot penetrate to avyakta, to unmanifest reality. And the 8th chapter of Bhagavad-gita, it is explained the difference between material plane and spiritual plane. Here we can see avyakto kshara ityuktas. It is said, ukta. It is said that avyakto, that this unmanifest, is akshara, is unchangeable, is always the same. Because few verses before, it is explained that this material world is always changing, and it's full of misery. Just few verses before, Krishna says, Manu petya punarjanma duhkalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanu samsiddhim paramam gata. That those who surrender to Krishna, basically, they enter above this world which is full of misery and is temporary. Because we should know that this world is miserable. As simple as that. We want all to be happy. This is our program. Is there anyone who wants to be miserable here? If I ask you how much of happiness you want to have in percentage? 200. And how much misery in percentage? Sorry? Minus the 100. So we can see, we all want to be happy. This is our nature. Ananda mayobhyasat. The living entity is by nature full of happiness. At least he seeks happiness. In this material world, Krishna explains, it's full of misery and it's temporary. Whatever we think that it will bring us happiness, it will definitely bring us misery. Krishna explains in 5th chapter of Bhagavad-gita, Yehi sansparshasha bhoga dukkha yona evati adyantavantah kantena tishura mati buddha. That those who are intelligent, who are Buddha, who are awake, those people don't strive for material happiness. Why not?
It's because they surrendered.
They're surrendered? Yes, but why they don't seek happiness in material world?
It's temporary.
It's temporary. Adyantavanta. It has its adi, its beginning, and its end. And more happiness that we derive from material things, more will suffer when it will end. And it will end by default. It certainly will end. No question if it will end, but only when. So, someone might build a house on some landslide. You know what's landslide? And people may warn him, don't build house here because the landslide will take everything away from you. All house and everything. But he says, but here is so nice view. I will really enjoy here. And he builds it on the landslide. But then landslide comes and completely destroys his house and everything. And he's miserable and crying. But he was warned that this will happen. And we are also warned in Bhagavad-gita that everything we count for our pleasure, for our happiness, will be taken away in this world. So if we count that our family will bring us happiness, we'll be miserable. If we count that the money will bring us happiness or security, or enjoyment, it will make us miserable. You see, this is misery. Yes, someone is miserable. So this ambulance or whatever, or police, goes to save someone from misery. Yes, so we should be aware that this material world is not our goal, it's not our destination, it's not our thing, our goal to aspire to. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam in 1st canto, Tasyaiva hitoh prayateta kovido nalabhate yad pramatam uparyadaha talabhate dukkhavatanatak sukham kalena sarvatra gabhira ramhasa. And it is explained that those who are intelligent, they seek something that is not available in the three worlds. Someone may argue that he's really foolish. How can he aspire for something that's not available anywhere in the three worlds? But he's seeking something beyond. Something beyond. And in fact, we are spiritual beings ourselves. So only spiritual food can satisfy us. because we need food of the same substance that we survive. For example, body needs organic food because it's organic substance of organic substance. And for our mind, we need some philosophy, music, to feed our mind. But to feed our soul, which are we need service to Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we'll always be frustrated. Always, without any doubt. That's why many rich people are completely frustrated. Because if you're not so rich, you can hope that if you get some more money, that you can become happy. But if you have more money that you can spend, and that still doesn't bring you any happiness, then you're completely frustrated. So, yes, we should know what we should look for. And Arjuna is putting here in the 8th chapter questions about what is kim tat brahma kin adhyatmam, kin karma purushottamam, adi bhutakshan kim ruktam, adi devam kim uchate. So he is asking, what is the spiritual reality? Kim tat brahma, kim adhyatman, and what is, and who is the original personality? Adi means original, and atman means, of course, personality, the self. King karma, and what is action in this material world? And so Krishna is explaining that, as also in this verse, that the spiritual reality is akshara, is never changing. So this is, of course, completely achintya. We cannot fathom this by our intelligence, because it's beyond our intelligence. So how can be activities when there is nothing, no change? But there are spiritual activities beyond this realm of manifest world. And the process is also given by Krishna. How to attain this? In 7th chapter, one chapter before, Krishna explained, and he says, Devi hiesha gunamayi mama maya duratya mam eva ye prapadanti maya meta antarantiti. That this material energy, which is composed of 3 modes of material nature, is very, very difficult to overcome. In fact, it's completely impossible for every living entity. So we are speaking that we should transcend this world, but Krishna is saying it's completely impossible to transcend it. How is this? And then he says, Mam eva ye prapadanti, mayam etan tarantiti. Those who surrender to me only, eva. He's using the word eva. It means something that substantiates, gives great importance. Certainly, without any doubt, mam eva ye prapadanti, those who surrender to me only, mayam etan tarantiti, they can cross over this maya, this illusory energy. Illusory energy, yes. And this illusory energy is all powerful. Once Markandeya Rishi wanted Narayana Rishi, this Krishna himself, came to ashram of Markandeya Rishi because he was satisfied with his devotional service. And then he offered the boon to the sage what he can choose. And he chose to see Maya, to see this illusory energy. And after some time, he was doing his bhajan in his bhajan kutir. One day there was extremely strong wind, and then it was downpour of rain for days and months, and all the land was deluged in these waters of devastation. Only Markandeya Rishi was surviving it. He was floating in this water, and great aquatic like Timingila fish who can swallow in one gulp the whales disturbed him, and he suffered for thousands and thousands of years like this in these waters of devastation, and no land anywhere. And then finally he saw an island, very small island, with a banyan tree on this small island. And on the leaf of the banyan tree there was a small boy, bluish blackish boy, and he was sucking on his toe, and this is, of course, was Krishna. And then baby Krishna inhaled, and Markandeya Rishi was taken inside of this small baby, and he just found himself in front of his ashram again. And then baby Krishna exhaled, and he again found himself in the waters of devastation. So, and this went back and forth many times. It is explained by acharyas. So we can see how strong is Maya. It's impossible to overcome. Who knows where we are? In some remote corner of the universe, which is maybe in the stomach of of small little boy, just waiting to be thrown into the deluge of material existence. So all our hopes for some material happiness and stability is just illusion. It's just illusion. Please don't be the victim of illusion. If you are the victim of illusion, you will cry again and again. No other possibility. And Krishna says then in the same chapter of 8th chapter, his antakala chamameva smaran mukto kalivram yah prayati samad bhavam yati nastyatra samshaha, that those who remember me, especially at the time of death, they at once attain my nature, mad bhavam. Bhavam means nature. At once, yes, and so they go, of course, to the spiritual world. Like here says, yam prapya nanivartanti. Those who attain this abode, they never return. Because just before this, Jai Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mayi ki Jai, Shri Gaura Nitai ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari. Just before that, he says, Sahasra Yuga Paryatam Arhoriyat Brahmano Viduhu, Ratri Yuga Sahasrantam Tehoratrat Vidojana. That for thousands and years, and in fact billions of years, it takes for Brahma's day. One Brahma's day is 4 billion years long, and his night is also of the same duration. And when there is night, everything is destroyed. Yes, and this is going on perpetually without any stopping, from time immemorial. There was no time that material existence wouldn't exist. It's eternal. Yes, so we should seek to get out of it. It will not cease by itself. Never. Yes, and then he explains, so those who remember me will attain me, and my immediately my nature. And then he says, Yam yam vapismaram bhavan tyajantyanti kalivaram tam tam aveti kauntaha sadhatat bhava bhavitaha. That whatever the person thinks at the time of death, that existence he will surely attain. So, but we should know, someone may say, okay, at the time of death I will think of Krishna. Now I can live ordinary life, try to be materially happy, and when the time for my death will come, I will think of Krishna. This is another type of self-cheating. Don't cheat yourself. Because death is traumatic experience, in fact. It's not fun to die. Our heart is failing. Our lungs are failing. Our kidneys are failing. We are unable to even drink water. So it's very traumatic experience. And wherever we put our faith during our lifetime, our hopes that this will protect me, we will certainly think of these things at the time of death. If our family is our focus, that family will bring us some protection, if and happiness in this life, we'll certainly think of our loved ones at the time of death. Certainly, because we'll try to cling on something that we trust. We put our trust in them. So they are called the fallible soldiers. Srimad Bhagavatam, in the beginning of second canto, it explains that family members are fallible soldiers that cannot protect us. And if we believe that money will bring us happiness and security in life, we'll also be disappointed. And we'll think of money at the time of death. How can, with my money, I can prolong my life even for a few minutes? Yes. We will rely on our buying power. And if anything else than Krishna will be focused in our life, then we'll certainly put our attention on this. And so Krishna says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mama nusmarayudyacha mayarpita mano buddhir mama veshasya samshaya. So, therefore, always think of me. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu. Sarveshu means at all. And kaleshu means time. At all times. Just think of me and do your duties. So if you have a job or family, so do your duties. That doesn't mean that you neglect your duties, but your focus is on Krishna, and your focus is on serving Krishna by your executing your duties. And so next, this is all from 8th chapter. Krishna explains Abhyasa yoga yukta nachita sananagamina paramam purushanda divyam yati partana chintayan. So we should devote ourselves to abhyasa yoga. That means training our consciousness. Training our consciousness. Because we are not able, when we are conditioned souls, and since we are in this world, I believe that someone amongst you is maybe conditioned, along with me. So we are unable to think always 24 hours on Krishna. So in order to achieve this state of constant meditation, we should devote ourselves to practice, to training. Abhyasa yoga yuktana. Abhyasa yoga. And this is training. It's like you train for any kind of sport. And Krishna consciousness is ultimate sport. And we can see here from the purport of Srila Prabhupada that spiritual world is full of sporting activities, of fun. We all want to have fun. But because of this maya, of this illusion, we don't know how to have fun. When I was a child and teenager, I was a punk rocker. And there was a band. It was called Sex Pistols. And there was an interview with a very popular member of this band, Sid Vicious. Have you heard about this band and Sid Vicious before? So he was asked by a reporter, I don't know what he would like to achieve or something. And he said, I just want to have fun. And he said, what kind of fun? Any kind of fun, just fun. This is my purpose of life, he said. And then he was asked by the reporter, do you have fun in the moment? And he looked at him and he said, are you kidding? I'm not having fun at all. So this is the position of the conditioned living entity. He wants to have fun, but he's miserable. And this is explained by Prahlad Maharaj. Sukaya dukkha mokshaya, Sukaya dukkha mokshaya, I forgot the verse, Sukaya dukkha mokshaya. The translation goes like this, that those who strive for happiness and to avoid misery, they all their endeavors end in misery. They try very hard for happiness and very hard to avoid misery, but all their endeavors end in misery. But those who don't care about material misery or happiness and just serve Krishna, they're always happy. They don't strive for happiness and they don't try to avoid misery, they want just to serve Krishna. They're always happy, whatever comes in their life. So this is the intelligence. If we know these facts, then we know the art how to have fun. Hare Krishna. Do you have any questions or comments? Yes, please.
When you were talking about Krishna, that he says, only by surrendering to me, you will come to me. So then I was thinking about, is this also is, Krishna is also the impersonal form. It's also he, you could say. So could we also say that if you have to surrender to Krishna and also to the other parts of him, would it also work?
And Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's the support of Brahman and everything. What does it mean, Brahman? This is an interesting question. Brahman means spiritual existence. And what is spirit? This is life, isn't it? Spirit is not dead. It's contradictory, isn't it? Spirit is something alive. And alive is not something void. Something void cannot be alive. Alive is only a person. So this is his energy. As you have your energies, so Krishna has his energies too. So if we just surrender to his unmanifest reality and impersonal reality, we'll just suffer. Krishna explains in 12th chapter of Bhagavata-dharma, Klesho dikataraste avyakta sakta chetasam. Avyakta hi gatir dukhkam dikhavat biravapati. That for those is their goal is just suffering, klesha. Klesha dikataraste avyakta sakta chetasam. Those who are attached to impersonal feature of the Lord. Avyakta hi gatir dukhkam. Gati means their end, their goal is just dukkha. Dukkha means misery. And this is explained in 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that such jnanis who try to connect to this avyakta, to this impersonal reality, bahunam janmanam anti jnanavan mam prapadati vasudeva sarvam iti samahatmas durlabha. That those jnanis, after many births, bahunam janmanam, bahu means many and janma means birth, bahunam janmanam anti means at the end. Jnanavan, that means those with knowledge of Brahman, of spiritual existence, mam prapadati, surrenders to me. So he gets misery life after life until he understands that Krishna is everything. Yes, and then he surrenders to Krishna.
I'm not really satisfied because there's also a verse in the Bhagavad Gita where he says that there are two paths who you can follow to me, and both will reach me. The one is a short way and the other one is a little bit longer. I still couldn't understand how is it.
Yes, and just explained. They also attain him. He says in 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that also these people will attain me, who worship the impersonal Brahman. But takes a little longer, as you said. Bahunam janmanam anti.
But because
Finally
now it
surrender.
says it's end in suffering, but in the Bhagavad Gita, it's also they are also coming to him. So
Yes, but their path is thorny one, full of thorns. It's not full of joy as devotional service. And you surrender now, immediately. Why you should take many births to finally surrender?
you are used to all the forms.
Yeah. This is misuse of your intelligence. If you wait and suffer and wait and suffer and wait and suffer, and at the end, until you surrender. Why don't you surrender now? This is intelligence. Surrender now. And you'll be happy now. Why waiting to be happy? Because you just said you want to have 200% of happiness and minus 200% of misery. But if you don't want to surrender, we'll have 200% of misery and minus 200% of pleasure. So intelligence means to surrender immediately. Don't wait just for prasadam or Saturday feast or I don't know what. Surrender now, this moment, and the next, and all moments onwards. Yes, you just have to have faith in Krishna's words. That's all. Yadrichaya matkatadu, jata shadrstu yachmaman, nanirvino nati sakto, bhakti-yoga sasidida. Those who just develop faith, this is the only requirement. For everything in this world, we need faith. I went today on the plane. It said it may bring me into Berlin, and I believed. Yes, I had faith. And whatever I was taught in school, many things, I had faith. I didn't do scientific research if everything I was taught is correct. Did any one of you did perform scientific research? So our life is based on faith, on all levels of existence. Yes. So we should put faith in Krishna, and that's it. And when you put faith in Krishna, then the process is very simple. Just chant, dance, and take prasad. Yes. And it's blissful. And associate with the devotees. And devotees, in fact, are the most wonderful people in all of existence. Isn't it true? Hare Krishna. Anything else? Yes, please.
I would like to know your short story in a short, like how did you surrender to Krishna before being in like a rock band, as we know?
How did I surrender to Krishna?
Like, what moment in your life or what pulled us? Like it should be like basically I'm meant a bit of motivation.
I was brought up in Christian family, and my grandmother, she was deeply religious, and I spoke a lot about God. I was interested in God all my life, and she was in the countryside, and I spent much of my vacation with her. And when it rang noon in the church, we stopped during our work and start to pray a little bit of rosemary. And in the evenings, she was listening to Radio Vatican, and I was playing in the kitchen during this time, and they were praying rosemary in Latin, and she was praying in Slovenian. And she listened to this prayer so much that even now I can tell the Holy Mary prayer in Latin, although I have never learned Latin. So I was inclined for faith in God all my life. And then during my university time, I a little bit lost my faith. And then I got Prabhupada's books, and I was writing a diploma on universal ethics. And then I also studied the Christian saints. And I encountered the Saint Francis of Assisi. Maybe you have heard about him. And he was really special saint. He considered every living entity, even animals and birds in the sky, and to be and even moon and sun and even death to be his brothers and sisters. And then I was completely taken over by his example, and I wanted to become a missionary, Christian missionary. And I was reading Prabhupada's books during all this time. I didn't consider to become a Krishna devotee. But Krishna had other plans. First, I was with now she's my wife. At the time we weren't married yet, and we was attending this course for missionaries. But because you cannot become a missionary just overnight. But at the end of this course, they said, because we are not married, we cannot go together. It wouldn't be example for people there in these places. But if we marry, then these places are too miserable to have family there. So our missionary activities was finished. Then we wanted to join the Franciscan Third Order. I think this is the only order in Catholic Church, and that even married couples they give eternal vows like monks to live pure life, to devote their lives to prayer, to regularly read the Bible, and so on. And we wanted to join this Franciscan Third Order because we planned to marry. And of course, I found a lot of inspiration in Prabhupada's books. I was going to the temple just to buy books. Because by Prabhupada's writings, I could easily understand some difficult words of Jesus. Otherwise, they're not understandable so easily. And even as a child, I asked a priest, in fact, that all the peoples of world are glorifying the same God, even if they're of other religions. And so I had this conviction also when I wanted to join the third order. And then we went to some Sangha program of theirs, and I was completely disappointed. Because I was in this Franciscan spirit, how we should devote our life completely to God from morning to evening. And also Prabhupada is writing in the same thing. And but they said they're satisfied if they devote their day to God in the morning and thank Him in the evening, and that's it. I was completely disappointed. So this is nothing. And then there was one lady there who said that she's there for the first time, and that she doesn't know why she's there. And she was morose all the time. And then I was very enthusiastically describing how all people of this world are glorifying the same God. And because I was reading Prabhupada's books, I wanted to give example from these books. And I said, for example, Hare Krishna. I was naive. I thought that they will enthusiastically accept. But when this lady heard about Hare Krishna, she said, "What? Hare Krishna? This is devil." I was completely shocked and just went to the temple. That was my inspiration to surrender to Krishna. Hare Krishna. If you're seeking, as Jesus says, if you knock, the door will open. If you seek, you shall find. So, but we should seek and we should knock. If we don't knock and we don't seek, nothing will come by itself. Maya will come by itself, as it comes, is coming from the time immemorial. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Pramanande. Hari Hari. Please accept my